Welcome back to another episode of the TwistedTubz podcast. I am Stephen Tuberty, aka TwistedTubz, and she is Luna Wolf. Welcome to the show.
Hi guys.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh man, thank you for giving up your time and coming on to chat to me. It's
I've got plenty of time for you.
Thank you very much. Because the last time we would briefly have spoke was Fright Fest in 2019.
Yeah, Fright Fest. Oh my
And
goodness, what weekend that was.
Flipped on its head and everyone got locked up inside. You know?
Yep.
So there has been no kind of like, obviously, I mean, same over yourself in England, it's probably lockdown central over there now at this point.
Yeah, we're just locked down now until the foreseeable future. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. We're just permanently locked in.
I mean, we heard the other day that like schools were going to be like opening in March, and it was like, you know, when someone tells you like, I heard a rumor on the internet, you're going, yeah, but how accurate is your source? You're going to be like, well, I need those 4 hours in the morning back so I can do my own thing, you know?
Every single time I hear a rumor like that, I'm just like, nah, it won't. Don't be silly. It's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. We're all going to be locked in forever.
Every single day. Like, I mean, it'll be 2022, I reckon, before it even starts to balance correctly, like, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, my area, I've been watching like the stats, and whether or not we can actually believe the stats is another question. But both my folks have had their vaccinations, and the stats from last 2 weeks now have gone from 1,800 cases to 500 odd cases. So it is dropping. It is dropping, but whether or not I can trust those stats, I don't know.
Our daily stats over here have been it's one day they're this high, the next day it's this low, and then it's in the middle, and then it's over here, and
it's all over the place. Where are you?
What the hell do I believe? Where are they? So I started a podcast, and now I don't even look at the numbers. So since we're on the podcast, and how I normally start the podcast every time I have a guest on is I ask them the very, very first question, and that is, what is Luna Wolf's origin story? I don't mean like what were you like as a 2-year-old baby, or I just mean what is your story? Like how did your direction bring you to this point? Like all of the creativity and everything else. What kind of a kid, like a person were you on that journey? And how did you? And I'm very interested to know the Luna Wolf tagline, because mine is TwistedTubz, which is my tag. So the Luna Wolf.
I mean, Luna Wolf is actually my name, so yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my name. Sorry.
Even better, man.
I'm hoping that nobody stalks me over that. But yeah, it's actually my name. I chose it, but it is my name. Yeah. My origin story, crikey. Well, a long time ago, in a land not so far away from here, I haven't moved very far. There was a kid and her dad and her brother. And okay, so kind of long story short, I'm going to stop messing around now. So I was at my auntie's house, and my cousin was there, and he had this huge poster on the wall of this alien, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And just, I mean, bear in mind I was about 8 years old right there. I was about 8 years old, and I was like, wow, that's such a cool like poster, man. It's like an alien. And so I was like, Dad, can I watch this film? And he was like, no. As dads usually do. So I was like, no, for real, Dad, can I watch this film? I was like, no. And so a little bit of time went past. About 6 months goes by, and he gets this VHS tin. I don't know if you ever like remember these like special edition tins. Oh, yeah. And this was the Terminator, I think it was, or Terminator 2. I can't remember which one it was. And I was like, oh my god, Dad, this is so cool. Like, can I watch this one? And he was like, no. And I bugged him. I didn't let it go. Every moment of every day I was like, Dad, let me watch it. Let me watch it. Let me watch it. Let me watch it. Like, Dad, wait, Dad. Until he finally went, look, right, this is an adult film. You can't watch this. And I was like, I don't care. I want to watch it. And I just wouldn't let up until he went, all right, fine. Look, you can watch this film if you watch the making of first, right? Because he had like special features and, you know, bits and pieces on this VHS and this really cool tin. And so I watched the special features and like saw how all the makeup and that went on and all of that. And I knew then it was just like, as my dad used to call it, plastic and wax, right?
Right.
And then he let us watch the actual film itself. And you know what? I actually preferred the making of featurette than the film itself. And so ever since then, like I was like constantly on my little brother, oi, you know, Luke, let's play out this scene from the Terminator and pretend we're getting shot at and things like this. So like ever since I was like that tall, that tall, I was always into like jumping over fences, like going on my elbows and my knees and pretending to shoot my little brother and him pretending to shoot me and everything. And then this kind of spread into my school life and I was constantly doing like drama and things until I mean, I got kicked out of college because ADHD, right? Plus they were doing it wrong.
My first run in college, no lie, I did the first year and then I went back for the second year. And halfway through I was kind of going,
that's why are we doing this?
Yeah, I don't want to do this because my friends are partying and that's fun right now when I want to do that. And then I kind of like ended up doing that and never went back. And it wasn't until I hit my like 30s that I went back and finished because, you know, I was older, you know, supposed to be more mature. Well, sorry.
We never get mature, right?
Oh God, no.
That's the point of being in this industry.
We're still
never
two
grow
degenerates, really, aren't we? Like,
yeah. And so I was always playing around with like cameras and learning how to edit and things like that. But I never really went on a proper set until I'm just having a think. I'm trying to give you the right information here.
That's all good.
So I did I went on set with a student movie and that actually never got released to the public, but that was called Dahlia. And that was one of my favorite earlier movies. I played this girl who was being haunted by the ghost of her little brother who drowned in the bath. And then that kind of like then spun me off into another direction and landed me into Slasher House 2.
Oh.
Which actually was quite funny because like all before that I was just like teaching myself things with cameras and like I was never really concentrating on actually being in movies, which I should have done. I don't know why. I think I got hyper focused on the technical side of things without actually going, well, wouldn't it be great if I just went on a set? I don't know how my brain works.
I find anyway from my personal side of it, I find that we like you can probably relate to this, but a normal person would go in and they'd learn the craft and then they'd apply it and they'd go like and they'd learn and then stay in one lane and then over time venture in. I think the way our brains work, we do
all of the things.
We do it backwards.
Like we've got to do everything.
I wrote a feature film, then had to cast it, and then I realized I wrote it too close to the chest, so I ended up having to act in it. Never acted before, so I had to train myself out to act, edit it. And then after that, I was kind of going, I have no clue what to do with this movie now. I have a feature film sitting there. So I went back.
Yeah, I'm right on there with you.
Yeah, so I started going back doing shorts again to kind of like figure out, like, because you know, as much as I'd done a feature, I was still very much in the mindset of like, I still don't know how to do this though. And I'm still very much not an actor. I need to learn all of this. So I started going into my other project. So yeah,
absolutely. I mean, before Slasher House 2, it never really occurred to me that going on somebody else's set would be a really good thing for me because I was always making my own movies. I was like, when I was 18, I was doing, I don't know whether or not I could even get a hold of those movies, but we were doing like Most Haunted spoofs with my brother and like night vision cameras, but we never did anything with them. They were just like saved on a CD, you know, those, do you remember those CDs?
I used to save them on VHS tapes before DVDs became a thing.
Yeah, we had, was it Super 8s?
I shot my first movie on a Super 8.
Oh my God, yeah, I remember Super 8s.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
Shit, man, that was okay. Anyway, it's showing my age. But yeah, like we just used to put them on Super 8s and never did anything with them, you know. And then coming into coming into Slasher House 2, it made me realize, oh my God, like this is a whole world that I actually really enjoy. Like this makes my heart sing. And it was I think it was a zero budget movie, but it was so much fun to shoot. Like everybody on the crew and everything, they were just like so fucking heartwarming, you know. They were so passionate about everything that they were doing. And like Mike, the director, is like, I'm just gonna get this shot and I'm gonna get this shot, and you can see that he's like not meaning to go a little bit over time, but he's like so in the zone and so in his creative bubble that you just want to let him do his thing with it. And like Anna is always like, she's always looked after me. And there's a couple of guys on set that basically made my life like so much easier. But yeah, like, and then once it was finished, I was like, man, I need to do this some more. But then life happened and I got a little bit distracted, and I was starting to like write my own script for my feature. And then kind of like, then I had to move, and then life happened some more. And now I've still got like my feature up on my wall on Post-it notes.
You know something? I wrote my first feature film. I'm not even joking you. I wrote it all on Post-it notes.
Yeah.
Like I still have the box upstairs. Oh, it's actually literally a shoebox full of Post-it notes. And I remember my sister said it to me then. It was like a few ages back. She was like, "Why do you have all these Post-it notes?" I was like, "Oh, that's the original feature film." It's like, how did you? How can you decipher them? And I say it to my daughter the whole time as well, Luna. It's like if you have an idea in your head, just write it on a Post-it note and pop it in the box.
Absolutely. Write it down. Otherwise, your brain's just going to go round and round and round and round and round in circles. Like, I mean, even when I wasn't dying of the cold on the Slasher House set. Moray was bringing me hot water bottles and blankets in between like shots. He was great. He was like saving my life. But anyway, even then I was just like wrapped up in this little blanket going, right. And my head was going, okay, in that scene, everything needs to be, and I couldn't get it out of my head until I wrote it down on a Post-it note. I couldn't sleep at night. Yeah. So.
And it genuinely is. I mean, my advice to you would be that it's on your wall. So you've created it in here. So just keep writing it, man, until it forms on a page.
And I had a breakthrough recently. And I can't say, because I can't remember what it's called, but there's a certain condition that makes the movie kind of work, like a certain condition that basically you can suffer from if you've got like withdrawal from cocaine. And I'm not going to say too much else because obviously I haven't written it. But it just, I was just laying there watching Elvira one day on the sofa, and I was like, this is gonna work. Oh my God. So I spent like 3-4 hours just writing all the Post-its up on my wall and just like moving everything around and making it all work. And I think I've got it down now. So hopefully at some point it'll turn into a script.
I bet you if someone walked into your room and looked at that wall, they'd be like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, they'd be like, what the fuck?
Organized mess in such a way that you know where everything goes. And I can completely relate to that. But like we're talking about postings on walls and trying to figure out, when you were saying you were watching Elvira and like it sparked in your brain. I think my next question is just literally creativity in 2020. Like how did you get your brain to like, or did you not create at all? Because I know for a fact for the first few months of last year, I sat in a bubble going, oh my God, what's going on? And I procrastinated. I couldn't get anything done until like the later stages.
Yeah.
And it started, the wheels started to turn.
I had a pretty awful breakup mid 2020. So I was kind of like spending an awful lot of time either having therapy or laying on my sofa. And it's funny actually the way that ADHD brains work. If you're laying on the sofa staring at the ceiling, the amount of thoughts that are going through your head at that particular time is quite incredible. And I just got to the point where I was just like, right, okay, I've got to do something, because my brain is now kicking my feet up to walk around the flat. And as I was walking around the flat, I started to realize, oh, I can do that little bit to that thing that's laying there. Because I've got a workroom in my spare room. So I've got like drills and like sanders and stuff and heat guns and laser engravers. And so I was like, I just wandered into the room for no particular reason. I was like, I ain't been in here a while. So I just started picking things up. And then like a couple of days like passed, and I realized that what I'd done is I'd set up a little station in the living room on the coffee table. Like I was making little bits of jewelry. And then in the workroom, I'm just like making little like boxes and, you know, like wooden boxes, and then laser engraving them and changing colors of them and stuff. And then like in the kitchen, there would be like, and this was a fail actually, this one, essential oil distiller. It looks like something from what's that TV program of those two guys that make those drugs? I can't remember what it is now. Breaking Bad. It looks like something from Breaking Bad in there. Oh. And my cleaner came in actually. She was like, "What's this?" And I'm like, you know when you just like get caught out and you're like,
in my apartment.
I don't quite know how to explain this. I'm making essential oils out of things, but it was a complete failure. So that's like put to the side now. But once that got put to the side, I started like thinking about all the things that really make me happy, because like I was in such a low point. And I spoke to my friend, my wonderful friend Jen, and she just basically went, "Oh, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid at the moment, and it's a really cool game. You should check it out." So what I did was I bought Metal Gear Solid 5, and I was just like, "Holy catfish! This is a really cool game."
Yeah.
How can I like, you know, make it so that we feel connected? And so I bought myself a capture card, and I was originally doing the gaming for Jen, because, you know, she's suggested this like really cool game to me, and I kind of want us to do it together, you know. And then I was like, well, hang on a minute, why don't I do gaming? Why don't I stream it? And, you know, and that's kind of where it came from. So, and loads of people started buying me games off of my wish list. And so I was like, oh, how can I say thank you? Oh, I know, I'll do an unboxing video for them. And that's where my tangent went. So now I'm doing it. And I'm hopefully going to be streaming like once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. I don't know. However much my brain allows me to.
You look at it this way: before COVID, you were very much like focused. You were focused on film stuff. I know I was focused. I mean, I think it was me and Paddy. We had finished Blue Feature. I think it was, we were in Fright Fest in August. We did a new feature that December. We shot it in 5 days. It was insane.
5 days. Hang on. Back up. This is me asking you a question now. 5 days. Like, how long is the film?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen. Obviously, it hasn't finished. Paddy will probably kill me if I give too much away. But it's we shot it on a location within 5 days with a skeleton crew of about between 7 to 9 people, and we didn't sleep a lot. I'll put it to you that way. We just didn't sleep. And Paddy, you've met him. Paddy's good people. He's just a pure ray of energy. He's like, the thing I love about working with Paddy, is because we're mates outside of the movie stuff. So it's when Paddy and myself are kind of on a movie. It happened with the Three Don'ts as well when we were on that. My character was supposed to be one page originally, but then it turned into this amalgamation of Paddy like saying, and like, grab your camera and hang out of that truck at 30 mile an hour and say stuff, and it ended up in the movie, and that became my character became the wild child of the movie. Same on this one. It was very much a thing, but it was a very different process. It was a much darker, kind of more dramatic movie. So it'd be laser focused, which was the weirdest thing to me. You know, I had to leave HyperTubz at home. I had to come and kind of really focus. And for 5 days I did that. Then I crashed into
Oh, the
January,
crash is always difficult, isn't it?
and then the world flipped, and then we were like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" So that was like just over a year. I'd said now it's about a year and a bit. But
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. So like you started doing the streaming thing and the YouTube
Mm-hmm.
thing, and
Yeah.
it took me the bones of a year to get my brain working again, outside of
Yeah.
like writing and things. Well, I started the podcast because this is
Yeah.
cool to me, because I think the biggest reason it's creativity. It's creatively
Yeah.
cool to
You start your podcast, I'll start my streaming, but
do.
it's more just to keep us busy, isn't it?
Yes.
So my
Keep the
streaming
wheels
is
turning.
literally just to supplement everything else in my life that I'm doing, because
Yes.
I'm so the direction in which I wish to go in, because again, I've been talking to Jen and she suggested that I go into stunts, right? So, because, you know, I started out, I think I was like 12 years old, 14 years old when I finally got on two wheels. And I was like, I don't know how much of this is actually legal, but it's probably legal, but who cares, right? So my mum had an orchard, like a big old field when we were kids. And my stepbrother got this little step through, like twist and go, right, motorbike. And we were just like hammering it around this orchard and just like flying around there with little shades, pretending to be the Terminator, again pretending to be the Terminator. And I remember putting the front wheel into a pothole at about 20 miles an hour, and I went flying over the handlebars. Now, for any normal kid, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that ever again," and yeah, I'm too scared. Me, I land pretty much almost on my feet, and I'm just like, "Woohoo! Let's do that again, man.
Again.
Let's go again." But obviously, well, actually, I think it was my brother that rode it into the pond in the end and put an end to that game. But you know, and we would do really stupid things as kids. Like when I first got my actual driver's license for four wheels, we used to take it out into a car park that had loads of dirt, gravel on it, and we would like hang on the top of the roof to see who would fly off first. I mean, you know, it's things you do as a kid, right? But or not, I don't know.
One little thing you don't know about me, because you've met me as an actor, is I used to backyard wrestle for 8 years.
Oh, there you go. See, you understand.
So
you get
I've been
it.
jumping off of things since I was a young kid too.
Yeah. So, you know, like, and I've always been into like martial arts and like fighting, and you know, I did a bit of like street fighting for a bit, and I've done a little bit of like Aikido jiu-jitsu, and I've done karate, although that was a little bit military for me. You know, and like weapon sports, I do archery, I do fire breathing, I do all these crazy things, and it just seems to make sense that I would move doing stunts, right? So back in August, I booked myself into the British Stunt Academy, which has been put back. I'm still waiting for a proper date for that for after the pandemic, but I'm doing like combat training and things with them, and so like my streaming and my YouTube channel is kind of going to complement like me moving more into the stunts for the movies, because like I'm going to do a video on what it's like to own a Mustang, or maybe a Harley Davidson, you know, like all of these little things that I'm so interested in, and all the things that I really love. Like I can go to like my archery place that is in South London, and hope that they will let me film in there and just share all of this passion that I have for like all these crazy, like fast and dangerous things, you know? So the fact that I'm doing games as well is it's kind of like me going, well, you know, this is what I do in real life, and this is what I do when I chill out, you know, kind of that balance.
Can I ask you a question with the
Sure.
gaming? Were you always a gamer, or did it just kind of like come about as of recently?
Oh, I used to have an Amstrad.
Oh wow! Well, so you were like going right into the you went Amstrad Commodore into
so we went Amstrad, and then we went straight into the Sega Mega Drive.
I was Super Nintendo, but
we didn't even do the Super Nintendo. We just went into Sega Mega Drive, and then after that we went PlayStation.
I was
So
SNES then PlayStation, and I never shifted to Xbox. I always kind of just,
yeah,
and it was never the case of like, which is better than the other. I always preferred
I
the
I
PlayStation.
prefer the PlayStation.
Mm.
I've had an Xbox. Actually, I've had two Xbox because one of them had the red ring of death. So my
Yes.
brother and I got an Xbox 360, and he stayed with the Xbox actually, and I went on to the PlayStation 4. But like we used to, the games we used to play were Sonic the Hedgehog
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
on the Sega Mega Drive. So
Yeah,
we
the
got Sonic
classics.
and Sonic 2. Yeah, we got the classics. And then when we went into the PlayStation, I can't really even remember the name of the fighting game that we got, but it was like revolutionary 3D.
What was that, Tekken?
Oh, it wasn't Tekken. It was the other one.
But this was
It
on
was
Mega
one of the.
Drive.
No, this was on the PlayStation 1. So this was like
Soul
one of the
Blade?
first. It might have been, but I'm thinking it might have been a lot earlier than that.
Right.
Because I remember we had this like, it was like a program where you would have a stingray and you would like float around, and it was all like 3D, and it was like revolutionary. Like, and then I was just like, whoa, okay, this is scary. And so I made my brother, who was 3 years younger than me, I made my brother play it while I hid behind him. And I was like, no, it's too scary. You do it. I'll help you with the puzzles.
My sister, and my younger sister, funny story is, her name's Rebecca, but she actually was the SFX artist on The Perished.
Nice.
So like I get to work with my sister on the majority of the projects we do, which is awesome.
Oh,
But
how
she
is
was
that? Oh my goodness, that must be so incredibly fun.
do you know what it is? It's like you were saying about just spending time with good people.
Mm.
And I think that's, I mean, and it goes back to like why we're doing this. I mean, one thing is like creativity. I need to like be creatively stimulated to podcast and thing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
another thing is just like missing people,
Yeah.
miss people. So like I get to chat to people, and I know it's not like physically in a room, but it's still you get to banter back and forth. But it's the thing with
Yeah.
spending time with your own family on a set is it's very different, and it's really cool because you
Yeah.
like you might not see them because, as you said, life kind of starts to get in the way of things, and you like to see people, but you got
Yeah.
about 100 things going on. So when your actual sister's there, it's pretty damn awesome. But to
Mm-hmm.
go back to what you were saying about the game, and I remember she even to this day says it that like most of the design and the direction she went with her gaming and her interests going forward was because of the games that she would have played around me or saw me play, like
Yeah.
Resident Evil and things
Yeah.
like that, and Silent
Resident
Hill and
Evil.
so on.
Oh,
But
Silent Hill. Resident Evil was definitely the game changer for me. For
yeah,
me, I think with the whole gaming thing, because I was just like, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna try and play it. So I started to play it, and I think I completed it in the end. But then we moved on to like Wipeout and all those other games, and I just went, wouldn't it be great to like do this for real? Like, like the zombie thing, like being in that situation and actually doing it for real. So yeah, like I'd like to do a zombie movie at some point, although I know they're so overdone. Like I'm just waiting for the right opportunity just to kind of get in there and see whether or not I can be in a zombie movie. But
oh,
yeah.
you be in it yourself, like, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
I'd
we
like to
have
be a zombie, like a big badass zombie that just won't die,
like we have one,
or
Brian
a
Regan.
small one in my case.
I think I've brought Brian's name up a few times. That we do the retro wrestle chat thing. Brian, he wrote this. It's on Celtic Badger's YouTube channel. It's called Passenger Zero. And funny
Okay,
enough, Paddy is one of the main actors in that movie, so you should go check that out.
sweet. Yeah,
But
because
I'm
Paddy was in your last the movie that you sent me as well, wasn't he?
yeah, Paddy's my boy, like, you
I
know
was
what I mean.
like, oh
So
my god,
I was like,
oh
man, play
my
my
god.
brother, and you know what I mean. Like, so like and I mean, but like on the film you're on about, The World as I See It, that one, as I said, I wrote, directed, and starred in it, but I can't really like I can't really say like I full of was there, and because Paddy was in the back doing 3,000 jobs, and
Yeah,
and making sure that I could like laser focus on like the
yeah.
task at hand with the character.
So it's
I was
handy
still
having family around, isn't it?
it's great. You were saying about being on a set a while ago about like
Mm,
just and everyone kind of being welcoming and just and that's what it was. That's what it was for Celtic Badger. Like when I came aboard and started working with the lads, they were all just
yeah,
laser focused and happy and just working on all these cool movies. and then the notion of 19 hours in and it's freezing cold, you don't even care at that point because
You
you're
just get
surrounded
on with
by
it, don't you?
your mates at that point. So
It's like
really
a
cool.
crew on Call of Duty. You just get on with it.
Yeah, you're
all
power through it, man.
communicating. Yeah, you're all communicating. You're all moving in sync and everything. And I think that's probably another reason why I really, really enjoy Call of Duty at the moment. It's the fact that you could get to play with your friends and it's all safe, but you still get to play that kind of like, because I love playing with guns, like hands down. I love weapons, and I'm not like a psycho killer or anything, but I really like guns. And so I play a lot of LARP, live action role play with airsoft.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I go out into a cold field sometimes and I shoot people pretending to be a a grunt from Aliens.
Oh, that's so cool. Like actual airsoft with the real guns, like
Yeah. So there's this really cool group. It's called iLARP.
Yeah.
So the whole story is it's aliens, and I think there's a bit of Terminator in there. There's a bit of Total Recall in there. It's like 80s sci-fi kind of mashup of everything, and it's called Grunts. And you get to go in and just like play a character, and it is exactly the same as like live action role play, only you get to play with airsoft weapons as well, as long as they look like an 80s like sci-fi, because I've had to edit my loadout. Oh my god, I've been playing so much COD. I've had to edit. I've had to like, oh, fuck.
I love it. Go on.
I've had to modify my guns to look like an 80s weapon, sci-fi weapon. So I went and got like the front part of it like 3D printed to make it look different to an M4. And
I'm the complete opposite of that side. Then I'm crazy trying to like get an action figure of myself.
Right.
Not
cool.
myself as not me, but my wrestling character, like the costume I wore as a wrestler and things.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
And like 3D print the head and things, and
wicked.
But Brian O'Regan, funny enough, is the my friend on the retro wrestling chat is he's all his whole channel is about action figures and collection.
Oh, I think I keep seeing him his content coming up. Oh yeah.
He's good people, man. He's I call him my screen wife because we've been on screen so much together in like different roles. It's
nice.
Yeah, so do you know what I mean? We have a great connection there, like so. But his channel is all about that. So, and he said it to me. He's like, if you had your way, you would have an action figure of every character you played. And I was like, challenge accepted. I think this needs to
Why
be
don't you do those what is it? Those pop icon things? The big heads. You can like
you can get Funko,
make your own now. There's a DIY one.
Yes.
Yeah. They're DIYs that you can just make your own and paint your own and just like put clay on stuff on them. And
I wish I was better at doing that stuff. Like my sister is amazing at that, like because of the SFX thing, and I've seen some of your work. So like, I mean, I obviously, I know you can do that stuff as well. I would annoy myself because I would try, and then I'd be like, oh, I can't do it right, So
I'm so out of practice though. I don't think I'd be that good now.
Oh yeah, but you mean you yourself.
I mean, the last time I did, I haven't done creature effects in like probably 4 years, and I haven't done like bruising or cuts or anything for about 2 years now. So I'm probably very out of practice with that. Yeah, maybe maybe one day this week I just need to have a play around with my SFX box. I just need to get out of the cupboard and just like see what I can do on myself.
And funny thing about it was that's how the post-production on my film happened, was because my friend he's been a friend years, like he worked on the score and stuff, and he's been in films with me and stuff, and he's a very good musician. He's very he's a great tactician of like design and score, and he understands music. And I had him on the podcast, and we were just bouncing back and forth and chatting.
Man.
And after the podcast, he was like, "Man, have you finished that movie yet?" And I was like, "No, it's a couple of sound issues. I need a score." And he was like, "Man, I'm your guy. I've been working with you for years." I was like, "You know what? I'll send you the movie." And the last 3 days, we've been on Zoom, like literally watching the movie. Now it's only a 15-minute short, but it's been watching the movie.
You say it's only a 15-minute short, but that's actually where most really good films start.
Like. Yeah, and I mean, and it's very much without giving anything away because I haven't released it yet, but it's very much a crescendo shift. We've designed it that way.
Yeah.
Starts off really quiet and slowly starts to pick up, as it
That's
goes.
cool.
But now, like
Have you
as
got
I
a
said,
title for it yet?
oh, it's called Rose.
Rolls?
Rose, Rose.
Oh, Rose. Got
Rose.
you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I do love the mix of English and Irish accents trying to say that name. It's so
Rose.
funny. Yeah, Rose, Rose,
Rose.
like deeper into
Rolls.
one minute, like.
Rolls. It's quite hard to rolls.
And it's
No.
see, I mean, with me, it's I get it with my S's and stuff. There's like if I say
Yeah.
I'm too fast, I stumble over them. But
Yeah.
do you find, because I've been trying my best to be super cautious of it, and I probably done it once or twice. But when I get excited in conversation when I'm talking to someone, I can step over and talk past them, and I don't mean to do it. Obviously, it's my brain trying to like.
All the time.
And you do that as well.
I do it all the time because I'm trying to join in with the conversation, and I think of something that can contribute to the conversation, but I kind of then think, oh shit, what happens if I forget? Oh no, I've forgotten it.
And do you do things as well? Because I'm only asking because I do them. It's like, you're talking about something and someone in the conversation says something and you have like, you want to contribute, like, oh, they've gone past it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you sit there for 5 minutes trying to
time.
find ways to
just,
answer them. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you end up like 5 minutes later, you see a window, they mention something similar, like, oh yeah, do you know if you did this? And it's from the conversation 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Or the conversation is well and truly over like 15-20 minutes in the future, and I just come out with, oh yeah, that thing, and they're like, what?
or complete and utter randomness, like
yeah.
But sometimes there's like, I say things and yourself, it's like the minute it leaves your mouth, you're like, oh, why did I say that? You know what I mean? Or I could have phrased that completely different. And you know them, because everyone's just kind of going like this. Look, it's like,
they're like,
what? Because it makes zero sense, and you're going,
absolutely.
But it's just it's a filter base that we as
there was a point
superheroes need to work on.
Yep, there was a point in my life where I used to overcompensate for that and just make it weirder. Yeah, that didn't work.
But you know what I think it is though as well, Luna. My God, what the fuck? I'm even flaring up here. I don't even know what I'm saying. We go back and we'll revisit. Luna, What I was trying to say to you is that I find that I've completely lost my train of thought now.
It's okay.
What the hell was I talking about? Do you remember? I just went boom.
We went off on a tangent, didn't we? We were talking. Oh God. Yeah. We went off.
Yeah, we went completely off there. But look, you know what? This is the beauty. This is what I prefer it when it's like this, because it doesn't seem staged or rehearsed. It's completely and utterly natural.
Definitely not staged. I'm completely confused.
Yeah, my brain just melted into my forehead there because I completely stumbled over myself. I was like, "What am I talking about?" But that's the fun.
Let me just feed my brain. Hang on.
Go feed. I am literally. This is what I'm doing for my brain at the moment.
Oh, so I've got my this is my concoction. I've got
what is it?
It's squeezed lemon in water.
Nice. I just have water. I feel like I'm the loser here. Like.
I found that squeezed lemon is enough in the afternoon and evenings as well to give you that kick in the face that you need to stay awake. Yeah. But if you have it in the morning as well, it kickstarts your body better than a cup of coffee. So, and when I do need caffeine, I don't usually lean towards coffee anymore because it gives me heart palpitations and it starts me off on an anxiety journey that I never really want to go on. So I use this nootropic. It's called Bright Drinks, and it's a nootropic thing with like, it does have caffeine in it, but it's got nothing else in it that like will give you that. So, but yeah, lemon and water is usually very good for staying awake.
But I'm just looking at the timestamp here. We're coming to near the end of the interview. But what I wanted to say to you is my last question would be to like segue into like I think you already covered it with the future plans and you're moving into the stunts and things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so just in general, like where, like, do you know the Twitch thing and the YouTube thing? It's like, where can people find you if they're looking for you?
Oh, so it's pretty damn easy actually. So Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, they're all / Lady Witch Wolf.
Lady Witch Wolf. Okay.
And my Twitter is a bit more difficult because Twitter did not allow for 13 characters, which Lady Witch Wolf is. So I have had to go to Witch Wolf, but the first W is 2 V's.
Oh yes. Okay.
So, and that's my Twitter. So that's hopefully easy enough, I think, maybe.
Well, that's awesome. Come here, look, and as I said, look, we'll link it in the bottom as well, and just Sweet. So people can go find you and stuff, and just check out Luna's stuff, because not to the trouble, like I would say you're a jack of all trades, or you were a
yes,
Jezebel,
I'm an absolute jack of all trades. Yes,
very much
I'm
so.
a jack of all trades, definitely.
Very much so. I mean, you have like I mean, even when I was obviously like looking up like questions for the interview, I was kind of going, I was like, where do I start? There's so much here. But then,
and I'm always up for trying new things as well. I mean, as long as it's not a bit, as long as it's not weird.
Oh yeah. Just entertaining and crazy and just things that like I mean, feed the brain and just keep it at bay, as you will. Because that's the way I am anyway. Do you know what I mean? As long as I can put enough in to keep it kind of
I absolutely relate to that.
Sleeping dragon down a little longer. I tend to do that.
More like a sleeping hornet's nest.
Yeah, because when that wakes up, it's a shitstorm, really, isn't it? Like, it can be mental. But look, Amir, thank you so much for coming on.
You're very welcome. Anytime.
Absolutely, 100%. Not even just saying it because you're here. I have absolutely 100% loved and enjoyed this interview. It has been like a common bond to have someone that understands the mind of a certain mind, you know?
Absolutely, man.
And look, I mean, Luna's probably going to come back on. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
We'll definitely have another show with Luna. So until then, like, share, subscribe, and all that good jazz. And this is the TwistedTubz podcast. I am Stephen Tuberty, aka TwistedTubz. She is Luna Wolf. What's your code name? Witch Wolf. It's actually not. I butchered that, but what is it?
Well, I mean, so my friends call me Wolfie.
Wolfie. That can be your nickname on the show from now on.
Absolutely.
Wolfie.
Hey, Wolfie.
We have had a great chat, and we're going to throw the thumbs up, and we're going to say goodbye to you all, and we will see you in the next cartoon.
Hell yeah.